Maya wiped down the espresso machine for the third time that evening. Her movements automatic after 2 years of working the closing shift at Brew and Bean. The coffee shop's warm lighting cast a golden glow over the empty tables, and the familiar hum of the refrigerator was the only sound breaking the comfortable silence. It was nearly 9 p.m., and she was preparing to close when the bell above the door chimed softly. She looked up to see him again, the man who had been coming in every night for the past 3 weeks, always ordering the same thing, a large black coffee, no sugar, no cream. He was tall with dark hair that looked like he'd run his fingers through it one too many times, and wore expensive-looking shirts that he somehow made look casual. There was something about his tired eyes that made Maya want to ask if he was okay, but she never did. Customer service had taught her to respect boundaries. The usual? She asked with a warm smile as he approached the counter. He nodded, pulling out his wallet. "Thank you, and would it be possible to get an extra shot tonight?" Maya studied his face for a moment. Dark circles shadowed his eyes, and his shoulders seemed to carry an invisible weight. "Rough day." He paused, seeming surprised by her question. Most baristas just took his order and moved on. You could say that. As she prepared his coffee, Maya found herself stealing glances at him. He stood by the window, checking his phone, with a frown before putting it away and staring out at the quiet street. There was a loneliness about him that she recognized, the kind that came from being surrounded by people all day, but having no one to really talk to. "Here you go," she said, sliding the cup across the counter. "Extra shot, as requested." "What? Do I owe you?" "It's on the house. You look like you could use it." For the first time since he'd been coming in, he really looked at her, not just a polite glance, but actually seeing her. Maya felt her cheeks warm under his gaze. "That's very kind of you, but I can't consider it a frequent customer discount." Maya interrupted with a grin. "Besides, we'll just have to throw out the coffee anyway." He accepted the cup, his fingers briefly brushing hers as he took it. "Thank you. I'm David. By the way, Maya." "Maya," he repeated, as if testing how her name felt. "Thank you, Maya." After he left, Maya found herself wondering about David. What kept him up so late that he needed coffee at 9 p.m.? Why did he always seem so tired, so alone? She told herself it wasn't her business, but she couldn't shake her curiosity. The next night, David appeared again at the same time. This time, Maya had his order ready before he even reached the counter. "You're efficient," he said, looking surprised. "I like to be prepared. Extra shot again tonight." Actually, David hesitated. "Could I get a different recommendation? I'm not sure the extra caffeine is helping me sleep." Maya laughed. "You know, there might be a correlation there. How about a decaf with some cinnamon? It's surprisingly good." "I'll trust your judgment." As Maya prepared his drink, she noticed David wasn't checking his phone tonight. Instead, he was watching her work, seemingly fascinated by the process. "So, what keeps you up so late that you need coffee at 9 p.m.? Maya asked, then immediately regretted the personal question. "Sorry, I don't mean to pry." "Work," David said simply. "Always work." "What do you do?" David paused for a long moment. "I'm in business development. Lots of late nights, early mornings." Maya handed him his cup. "Sounds stressful." "It can be." He took a sip and his eyebrows raised in surprise. "This is actually really good." "I told you to trust me," Maya said with a pleased smile. That night, David lingered a little longer, asking Maya about her work, how long she'd been at the coffee shop. She told him about her art classes during the day and her dreams of opening her own gallery someday. He listened with genuine interest, asking thoughtful questions that made her feel like her dreams mattered. As the days turned into weeks, their conversations grew longer and more personal. Maya learned that David was a single father to a 7-year-old daughter named Emma. He spoke about her with such love and pride that Maya's heart melted a little each time. "She's at her grandmother's tonight," David said one evening. "Emma loves staying over there, but the house feels so empty without her." "Is that why you come here?" Maya asked softly. To not be alone, David's honesty surprised them both. "Maybe. I hadn't really thought about it that way. But yeah, I think you're right." Maya began looking forward to David's visits more than she cared to admit. He was intelligent and funny, with a dry sense of humor that caught her off guard and made her laugh. He asked about her art, her family, her dreams, and he really listened in a way that made her feel valued. One night, Maya was closing up when she noticed David's usual time had passed. She felt disappointed and realized just how much she'd come to depend on their evening conversations. As she was locking the door, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Hi Maya, this is David. Sorry I couldn't make it tonight. Emma had a school event. I realized I never got your number and wanted to let you know so you wouldn't wonder. See you tomorrow." David. Maya stared at the text, her heart doing a little flip. He'd thought to let her know, which meant their conversations mattered to him too. She texted back, "Thanks for letting me know. Hope Emma's event went well. See you tomorrow." The next evening, David arrived with a small smile playing at his lips. Emma won first place in her science fair project. She made a volcano that actually erupted, got lava everywhere. "That sounds amazing. You must be so proud." "I am. She's incredible." His expression grew thoughtful. "I want to bring her by sometime to meet you, if that's okay. She keeps asking about the nice coffee lady her dad talks about." Maya's heart skipped. David talked about her to his daughter. "I'd love to meet her." When the weekend came, David arrived earlier than usual with a bright-eyed little girl who looked just like him, but with her hair into neat braids. "Emma, this is Maya. Maya, this is my daughter Emma." "Hi Maya. Daddy says you make the best coffee in the whole city," Emma said with a gap-toothed grin. "Well, I don't know about that, but I do make a mean hot chocolate. Would you like to try some?" Emma's eyes lit up. "With marshmallows, with extra marshmallows." As Maya prepared Emma's hot chocolate and David's usual decaf with cinnamon, she watched the interaction between father and daughter. David's entire demeanor changed around Emma. He relaxed, smiled more, and his eyes lost that tired, lonely look. It was clear that Emma was his whole world. "Maya, did you know my daddy works in a really big building with lots of floors?" Emma chatted as she sipped her hot chocolate. "Really? How many floors?" "Like 100. David chuckled. "It's actually 42 floors, but close enough. And he has meetings with really important people all day long." Maya glanced at David curiously. He seemed uncomfortable with Emma's innocent bragging about his work. "Emma, why don't you tell Maya about your volcano project instead?" As Emma launched into an enthusiastic description of her science project, Maya found herself studying David more closely. His clothes were definitely expensive. She'd noticed that before. His watch looked like it cost more than her monthly rent. And now Emma was talking about a big building and important meetings. But Maya pushed those thoughts aside. Whatever David did for work, he was just David to her, the lonely man who came for coffee every night, who listened to her dreams and shared stories about his daughter. Their routine continued for another month. David would come in every night, sometimes with Emma on weekends, and they would talk. Maya began to realize she was falling for him, for his kindness, his devotion to his daughter, the way he made her feel like she was the most interesting person in the world. One night, Maya worked up the courage to ask the question that had been on her mind for weeks. "David, would you maybe want to have dinner sometime? I mean, when you're not getting coffee at 9 p.m. David's face lit up with a smile that made Maya's knees weak. "I'd love that." They arranged to meet that Saturday at a small Italian restaurant. Maya loved. She spent the entire day nervous, changing outfits 3 times and checking her reflection obsessively. When Saturday arrived, Maya waited at the restaurant, checking the time on her phone. David was 20 minutes late, and she was starting to worry he'd changed his mind when her phone buzzed. "Maya, I'm so sorry. Emergency at work." Rain check. Disappointed but understanding, Maya went home. But when Monday came and David didn't show up at the coffee shop, she started to worry. Tuesday passed, then Wednesday, with no sign of him. On Thursday night, Maya was wiping down tables when she heard the familiar chime of the door. She looked up eagerly, expecting to see David, but instead saw a woman in an expensive suit. "Are you Maya?" the woman asked. Double quotes, "Yes. Can I help you? I'm Jennifer Walsh, David's assistant. He asked me to give you this." She handed Maya an envelope and left without another word. Maya's hands shook as she opened it. "Dear Maya, I'm sorry for disappearing without explanation. Something came up with work that requires my full attention for a while. I want you to know that our conversations have meant more to me than you could possibly know. You made a difficult time in my life bearable, and I'll never forget your kindness. I hope someday you'll understand why I had to leave like this. Take care." David Meyer read the letter 3 times, tears blurring her vision. He was gone, just like that, with no explanation beyond work. She felt foolish for thinking